get some help here?
2,000 subscribers!
Hey guys, I'm back with a new video. I've been here doing a video from now long, but now I am here with a new season. Season 2, I'm So Angry. Starting off with Henry.
What's up, guys? Prank time, Prank Kids.
Ooh.
Prank Kid deck profile for Nats format, basically 2019, and it's post the past pack, and yeah, it's something I've been working on lately, and I think it's pretty solid. It has a pretty good meta matchup, and it's basically a Best Dweller turbo deck. That's what it does. It's going first and setting up Dweller and winning your matches for free.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's pretty degenerate, but I think the deck's pretty good. It's not even bad going second. It can play through a lot of different boards. I built the deck to make Dweller and also try to not have my opponent make a Dweller.
Yeah.
So I'm playing some cards to interrupt my opponent trying to make a Dweller, playing some cards to protect my own Dweller. So yeah, it's a pretty good, pretty well built deck, I think. So this is the deck I'm running for the 2019 Nationals format.
Okay.
3 Fancies, 3 Dropsies, 3 Lampsies, and 3 Roxies. So all these cards special summon from deck or hand, and they all are just really good cards. I like how Ash isn't really that good against the deck since everyone's playing Ash. Like, no one will really Ash. Like, if you Ash one of these, it's not really big deal. You can just special another one, and like, summon 2 of these, you can make Dweller. Summon 2 of these, you can make Toad. So yeah, they're all really good cards. So that's it for the Prank Kids. And so everyone pretty much knows that I play a small hero engine. I play 1 Prisma and 1 Hero Lives, especially the Prisma, but I actually went a little bit harder with it this time. I actually play 1 Blazeman, and I play 1 Rhoda to search either of these. So yeah, this is pretty good. So basically, it is pretty much a toolbox of heroes. So if you need a Prank Kid name on the field, you can get Prisma. If you need a Poly, you get Blazeman. This is a really good card because even though you have to pay half your life points, you get one of these cards on the field, and you get to make a play without normal summoning, which is really big. The reason why the hero engine is particularly good is because they're level 4s, and if you have to start the play with your heroes, you could just leave it on the field until the end of the play, and then you'll have 1 Roxy's on the field, and you just overlay for a Dweller. So you're still using the hero at the end of the play to make a Dweller. So it's pretty good, and yeah, Rhoda just adds a little bit more consistency with it, and yeah, it's been working pretty well for me. So, and then the last 2 monsters I play are 2 Bell, and so basically the one card this deck loses to is Called by the Grave.
Yeah.
So I play Bell because A, it stops Called by the Grave, and B, it also it stops Orcus, it stops Salamangreat, maybe Kagari from adding an engage.
Yeah, and 1 Kagari.
Yeah, well, the 1 Kagari. So it's a pretty good card overall. It covers a lot of matchups, and again, everyone plays 3 Called by the Graves in their deck, so it's always a good card. And then speaking of Called by the Grave, I'm back to playing 2.
Called by the Grave.
Yeah, so I wanted to play 3 of one of these,
Yeah.
but I have a golden rule of not playing more than 5 non-engine cards. So
Ooh, okay.
2 Bell, 2 Called, and then there's 1 more in my deck that I'll show a little bit later.
Okay.
So these are like your defensive cards. For some fusion action, win or lose, we still fuse.
Poly.
3 Poly and Invocation as the 4th Poly, and then I cut the Pandemonium down to 2.
Really? Why?
So basically, you always want to make a Dweller.
Okay.
So if you open this as your fusion, then you can't make Dweller at the end of that turn. You can't make Toad.
Yeah.
So I figured that I'd just rather open the Invocation rather than the 3rd one of this.
Okay.
And so I was going to cut this, but I might as well just play 1 of this and 2 of these because these are searchable. You'll always have access to this as long as you're making your play.
Yeah.
And then Invocation is just a generic good card. The only restriction is that you can only fusion from your hand, but that's what you want to do anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's it for the main fusion cards. And then as an extender, we play 3 instant fusion and 2 pranks. So instant fusion is just a really good card. If you can start your turn 1 by summoning a Weather Washer, normal summoning a Prank Kid, and then making your play. But even past turn 1, like turn 3, this is really good. You special summon a Rocket. Rocket specials 2 links from the graveyard, and then the link tributes itself to add 2 more cards back from your graveyard. So it's just a push card as well. It's like Soul Charge in this deck. It's really broken.
Soul Charge.
It's like Soul Charge and a starter card. Okay. Really good. Yeah. And then we play some field spells. So for our field spell lineup, we play only 2 copies of Prank Kids Place. We play 1 copy of Fusion Recycling Plant, and everyone knows I play 2 Terraforming and the 1 set rotation to search these guys out, to whatever you need. If you need a Prank Kid name, you can get this. If you need a poly, you can get this. This always comes up. You have to play this part, in my opinion.
Okay.
And then we play one last field spell, which a lot of people are gonna hate on me, but it's one Mystic Mine.
Oh man, you're playing that too?
Yeah, I'm playing Mystic Mine, and the reason why I'm playing Mystic Mine is because if you're going second and your opponent's playing Orcus, they have disruptions, right? They could banish. They have monsters on the field. If you're going against Orcus and you already have both of your pieces, if you have Prank Kids and you have fusions, you can search Mystic Mine, activate it, turn off your opponent's monsters off. So since they have Babel, all of them are quick effects. As soon as you activate it, they can chain to it, but then they can't pop with Rusty. They can't send with Nigurisu. So you're putting them back, and then you're making your play. You'll play around it, so you'll never special more than they have, and so they can't activate their cards. And then after you can quick play Raigeki them to go into you can go into Battle Butler. On your turn, quick play Raigeki them, and then after that you can play after you're done with that. I mean,
it's like a force field.
It's like a force field, and you never really lock yourself out. It's really good because what your cards do is you can always link into a Doodle or a Butler, and then you can tag it out. So you always have you can always make it. You can manipulate your field so that you have no monsters on the field. So even if you can't kill your opponent that turn, you can link into a Butler or a Doodle, and then tag it out to get 2 more cards to your hand, and then your opponent's left with monsters, which means they can't attack or activate effects, and then you have a handful of like 8 cards. So it's pretty good, and there's also like a pseudo burn loop that you can do with this. So in time,
really?
Yeah. So in time, you can infuse your cards with one of the life point changers, with this or this. So like if you're close to time, or even like if you're grinding, you can just fuse these 2 away. Special or rocket. Use one of, depending on how many monsters in the field. If they have 2, I would special 1. If they have 3, then you can maybe do both. But you would do their effects. You gain 1,000. They lose 500. Then you special this. Then you can tag this out. Special these 2 back. Then link them into a Butler. And then pass. And then on your opponent's turn, you tag this out, get these 2 cards back, and then you have the same. As long as you have some kind of poly, then you have the same play again. You keep on doing it, and then if your opponent has more monsters than that, you can go. Before you do that, you can go into a Doodle instead, and you can search. The pranks. You can search pranks, and this will allow you to shuffle back all your cards. So it allows you to do this infinitely. As long as you have this on the field and access to life point changers.
It never ends.
Yeah, it never ends, exactly. So that's pretty good play, I thought. So that is it for the field spells. And then I play 1 Upstart Goblin, courtesy of Patrick Hogan. And then one of this plan. You definitely don't need to play more than 1 of this. A lot of people's rationale is that you want to be able to recycle and boost, but or set up the quick play Heavy Storm. But I don't really think that's important. I'd rather not brick and be able to play the game than pick and choose what cards.
What I noticed, like you didn't play Pot Designs anymore.
Yeah, I actually recently cut it, and the reason why I cut it is because I was playing so many one-ups. Because I was playing the hero engine, I was playing the field spell engine, and there was no scenario where I wanted to banish any of those. So for
you want to get poly as soon as possible.
Exactly, poly as soon as possible.
Other means now.
So for extra deck, 2 Rocket, 2 Washer. I was playing a slightly different build with Summon Sword, because Summon Sword got banned. Play 2 of this again, and then one Battle Butler, quick play Raigeki. He's really good against Orcus, pretty good against Salmon Great if you bait the Banlinks early on. So it's pretty good overall. So that's it for the fusions. And then for the links, we play 2 Doodle, 2 Bow Wow, 1 of this. You don't go into this that much, but if you set up the Mystic Mine, then you start going into cards like this more because you want to have beaters and just attacks. So, it's pretty good. And then we play 1 Griffin. I actually don't really go into this turn 1, but it's really good in like turn 3 when you're grinding, because like you'll have interactions, your opponent will have interactions, and then you'll tag out with Washer on their end phase to 2 links, And then if you have any other cards, you just make this, and then you turn all their cards into dead cards because they can't respond, because they can't even attempt to activate cards if Griffin's on the field. So this is really good in the grind game. It's a beater, and it gets you a draw. It sets Pandemonium, does everything you want it to do. So yeah, it's a pretty good card. And then for when we play the Borals, this to steal stuff, this to kill your opponent. Good card overall. And then on Xyz, we play Toad, and then Abyss Dweller Turbo.
Yep.
This is definitely the card of the format right now. If you can make this turn 1, you can stop Orcus, you can stop Salmon Drake sometime, you can stop a lot of decks. Thunder Dragon. Yeah, it's really good. So, that's it for the extra deck. And then for the side deck, I don't really have all my side deck cards on me, but one of the reasons why this deck is good is because it doesn't need its normal summon all the time. So you can play 3 Danko, 3 Sphere Mode, and here I have 2 Pankratops. I don't know if I would play Pankratops. I'll probably play 3 Lancia, 3 Evenly, and 3 Red Reboot. Okay. So yeah, that's pretty much it. It's pretty much like nothing, not really any new combos. But just the fact that this deck can grind, it can always make a Dweller. If your opponent makes a Dweller, what I would do is I would just fuse him to Washer, and then just leave it on the field, have it chill there. And then when they go, just tag out Washer, special back my cards. Like if they go Dweller first turn, and I have a Poly and 2 Prank Kids, whatever, they have a Dweller, I can't activate any graveyard effects. I'll fuse into this, special this. So say you're going against someone great, you tag this out, you special these 2, and these can't be destroyed by battle because of this, and they usually can't get over this. Like, this is like a brick wall against Salmon Great.
Brick wall, China.
Yeah, exactly. So, and they don't really have any way to interact. It's kind of funny. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. I've been playing the deck off and on for a little bit while now. I'm playing Orcus here and there, but I think Prank Kids offers something that a lot of decks don't have. It has like a really good grind game. It can make a Dweller like almost automatically, and it makes a much stronger Dweller because if you have the field spell set up, you can give it 500 extra attack, so it's a 2200 Dweller, and it just sets up a lot better than a lot of decks like Pendulums and even Orcus, because it just controls the entire game. And a lot of the other decks are very predictable, very linear outs, and this deck is kind of hard to counter.
Yeah,
and if you're a good player, I would definitely play this for an event.
For the event?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
So that's it. All I got right now.
Thank you so much, Henry. Arigato gozaimasu.
Bye.
Bye.
2,000 subscribers!
You're not showing anything.
Oh.